Steph from Seas of Change, and I'm here today with Rob from Australian Seabird Rescue, and we're going to interview him about turtles. So can you tell us a little bit about the Australian Seabird Rescue and their work?
Okay, so Australian Seabird Rescue is a grassroots rescue organisation, so we specialise in seabirds, so stuff like pelicans, albatross, even your seagulls, and we also specialise in sea snakes and of course our sea turtles.
So why are there so many sea turtles coming into your care?
So obviously a lot of our sea turtles do come in care from stuff we do as people, so a lot of our turtles do come in care from injury from boat strikes. Some of them come in care because they've eaten things like plastics or balloons. So most of the times the turtles we are seeing, especially on the Central Coast, is a result from people. It's very rarely we get one that's from a natural cause.
And why would you say turtles are ingesting so much plastic?
So with plastics, obviously a plastic bag in the ocean looks like a jellyfish. So many of our marine turtles actually do like to eat jellyfish, especially stuff like the hawksbills and the leatherback turtles. That's pretty much their favourite food for those species. So, in the ocean, a plastic bag does look like a jellyfish, and they think it's a good treat. Even with your balloons, once they bust, all the fragments also look like jellyfish within the water. So they just think it's food.
Can you tell us about Ella and Sheldon's story?
Yep, so Ella was found at Manly, so at Cabbage Tree Bay, which is a marine reserve. So we actually noticed Ella on a Facebook post. So I'm actually a scuba diver, and I was going through Facebook, and someone's like, "Oh, look, I found a turtle today while diving." And then I've looked at it and go, "Well, that turtle's actually quite sick." So we contacted our volunteers in Sydney. They went and free dived and rescued Ella. So the reason why we knew Ella was sick was she had tons of barnacles. And then a week later, we actually found out the reason why she was sick. She actually had passed out a balloon. So obviously she thought that was a food source and ate it and made it unwell. What we're talking about is balloons. So balloons actually are quite deadly within the marine environment. So as you can see, when a balloon busts, it kind of resembles a jellyfish. So with the turtle, they see that and think it's food. And unfortunately with Ella's case, that's exactly what she thought. And she managed to eat this balloon and this string. So this string actually went to 2.5 meters. You can imagine inside this little poor turtle, that's all tangled up in the stomach. That's quite a significant amount of rubbish that's in there. And you can see with the length of that balloon, when she's passed it out, that's quite a significant lot of rubbish that she's actually, it's like 3-4 times her size that she's actually eaten. I know with balloons, like a lot of people like to release balloons. I know they've got a sentimental value, but what a lot of people don't realise is that after a balloon's released, it actually causes death in our animals. And unfortunately, they go up in the sky, they bust, and with 70% of our planet covered by oceans, they're more likely to land within our marine environment. With Sheldon, similar story. So Sheldon was actually discovered by a scuba diver. They've taken a photo. Hey, look, I found a turtle. Somebody has tagged one of our people within our organisation, Laura. They're like, "Hey Laura, this turtle doesn't look well," and also Laura's contacted me and Kathy, and we've gone down and managed to rescue Sheldon. So we know Sheldon was also sick, obviously by the barnacle load, and we had noticed that he had a big bite towards the back of him, and was later discovered he actually had been attacked by a shark.
And then how do you care for these creatures when they come into your care?
So when we first get a turtle, they actually go into fresh water for 24 hours. That helps rehydrates them. It also kills off the barnacles, which is the most important thing. And then we have to remove the barnacles, try and get them to eat. Both our turtles are on antibiotics at the moment, and also with Alden and Sheldon, when they've come into care at the start, we've actually had to give them fluids. So the same type of fluids people will get when they go to hospital, so it's injecting them with fluids to try to get their hydration back up. And then after that, it's just a slow process depending what's wrong with them. Ella, she'll have antibiotics for a couple of weeks, and hopefully she'll go for more x-rays, and hopefully all inside's clear and then she can go. With Sheldon, unfortunately he's got a long road ahead, so with damage to his shell, once he's going to eat and a bit more healthy, we actually have to do some surgery on him and remove dead bone and stuff like that. And then after that, it's a bit of a healing time. So with turtles, it can take up to 12 months for turtles to actually heal.
So how is the Australian Seabird Rescue coping with the incoming demand? Do you think that the demand has increased? There's been a lot more?
Demand has definitely increased. I know, especially on the Central Coast, especially with turtles, we probably only used to get one probably every once a year, twice a year. In the last 12 months, I think we're up to 10 turtles we've actually managed to find. Fortunately, some of them haven't made it. Some of them we've transferred to Taronga Zoo because we haven't had the facilities to house them. but there are more and more turtles coming in, which is a shame. So.
And
Yeah.
is that because of just human action?
With human actions, it's also probably got to do with climate change, I'm guessing. Like, obviously our waters are warming up, so there's more species travelling further south, so there's probably more turtles showing up in the area. Central Coast also has got a lot of seagrass beds, so especially Lake Macquarie and Brisbane waters, there are big seagrass beds areas, so there are a lot of turtles that do frequent that area, especially green turtles. So, there is the food source around here, and unfortunately sometimes they get tangled up with people, and then that's how they get ill.
And then for anyone who wanted to get involved with the Australian Seabird Rescue, how would you volunteer or become a carer?
Yep, so Australian Seabird Rescue, every year we run a course, a training course, which anyone can come along to, and pretty much they get trained on how to obviously catch our animals when they're sick and rehab procedures and stuff like that. So we do that every year.
Do you feel that the increasing environmental awareness is helping your cause?
It is helping, but also I think the tricky thing is with the oceans is people don't see what happens in the ocean. Obviously the ocean is so deep and stuff like that, and a lot of, most people go swim in the ocean, but a lot of people don't see what is actually happening underneath the ocean. So kind of like on land when we have bushfires and stuff like that, people see that impact because they can see it with their own eyes. Fortunately with the ocean, people don't kind of see what's happening, so probably getting the message out there is a little bit harder when it comes to the marine environment, because people aren't as aware with it as they would be on land. But obviously, the message is getting out there. There's been some great things happen over the last couple of years in Australia, especially within the state. We've had the 10-cent deposit scheme, so obviously people are recycling bottles. We've had the ban on plastic bags starting to happen and stuff like that. So all those little steps are making a big difference. In the end, obviously with the ocean, the biggest thing for the ocean right now is climate change, which everyone's starting to work towards now. So, and the other major issue is plastic, which is still a lot of work to go with plastics, especially single-use plastics like straws and stuff like that. There's still some fair bit of legislation that needs to happen when it comes to maybe banning straws and further legislation when it comes to like banning balloons and those type of things. So we've still got a bit of work to do when it comes to the ocean.
Yeah. And what would you say people at home could do to help?
So to help, have a reusable water bottle, so that's a big help there. When you go shopping, take your reusable bags, and obviously when you go out, say no to using a straw. So those three things can make a massive difference to our marine animals. And obviously the other thing is we need to kind of like put pressure on our governments to work on climate change policies, because obviously that's the other thing that's affecting the oceans, and that's going to affect land also in years to come. When sea level starts to rise, obviously places are going to get flooded, so that's what everyone
that's going to start affecting us
it's going to start affecting everyone on land. So
cool, thank you.
no worries, thank you.